One thing that I wonder about is I believe one of your partners is still Supacolor, or at least it was in the recent past. And Supacolor, while being this amazing kind of transformational option, and not just them, but DTF in general, is also in a lot of ways like a threat to someone who has a really good skill set in screen printing. Because theoretically, if it gets cheap enough and fast enough, maybe your skills matter less and less and less in the future. What has your experience been kind of seeing that transformation happen and also working with them as a partner? Do you get pushback from traditional screen printers? How have you seen the industry respond?
That's a great question. I got introduced to Supacolor at Print Hustlers, and I was like, another transfer company, yay, And so I think as old school screen printers, and I will say old school, like, over 20 years. So that's really not old. I don't think I'm old school, but that's a while, right? The transfer had a kind of a negative connotation because it was cheap, it would crack, it wouldn't stick well. And so, the world's best transfer, I think they were touting at the time. I was like, okay, whatever, But then during the pandemic, I started using Supacolor to decorate masks because they're just kind of a pain in the ass to screen print. And I was like, wow, these transfers are really good. Like they feel like a water-based screen print. They hold up well. You can add dye migration properties to that, or to blocking properties to that, so you don't have dye migration issues. So learning more about that technology, I was like, yeah, this definitely, there's a place for this in the industry. I'll use a shop example across the street, Opaque Screen Printing. They didn't even know about Supacolor, and I walked in there one day. He's like, man, well, how should I screen print these waterproof, jackets? And I'm like, you shouldn't. That sounds horrible,
Right.
And so stuff like that is a perfect application for Supacolor because it's so much easy. You can control the variables. You can add different types of transfers to different types of products. They make different types of adhesion properties. So yeah, it's a great option for any shop. I don't think it's competitive to screen printing. I think it's complementary to screen printing. I think all screen printers should be using a transfer option. I think Supacolor, in my opinion, is the best out there from what I've seen. It's screen printed with water-based underbases, so you have that Nike Under Armour feel, and then you have the digital overprint. You're still going to get a solid plate, and so it's still different than screen printing. If you one of our videographers did a project where he had this big, like, kind of shark from like this hip hop artist on this hoodie, and it looked cool and vibrant, but it's a sheet, right? I mean, it would have felt better as a really good water-based screen print, And so, but then on the flip side, a lot of things transfer way better. Small logos, like full color imagery that don't have full bleed on them, will transfer better, and then 100% on hard to decorate or hard to screen print items. So I think it's a great tool in the tool chest. I think Supacolor is doing a great job of transforming that transfer industry and raising the bar for everyone else. And then DTF kind of plays into that. There's some really good DTF. There's some really bad DTF. Supacolor is just a ready to go option.